Hey everyone, here Lucas, and I have a video that someone requested one of my prior videos, a video of why Florida Panthers don't get any respect from any of the national media, and what we have to do in order to earn that respect from the NHL, from ESPN, and all the national media broadcasts for NA hockey. So let's go into some history on why I think the Florida Panthers have just had a horrible time getting any respect from other teams' fans and from the national media. But let's get some good talking points. So first, our first 3 seasons in the NHL, we can even go into the fourth season. We were the darling of the NHL. Yeah, sure, we played in Florida. A lot of fans joked about, oh, you can't play hockey in Florida because you can't have ice in Florida. And, you know, the technology now is amazing. But back then, there were some troubling things to produce ice, keep the ice cold in Miami. That's when Florida played their first 4 years was in the Miami Arena in Miami. So, you had that humidity, especially during the Stanley Cup playoffs. You're in June and you're in Miami when it's like 100 degrees, 110 with the humidity. It can really be tough. But they did a pretty decent job doing that. But getting back to the first 3 years, we were the darling of the NHL. We went to the Stanley Cup Finals in our third year in the playoffs. We beat some powerhouse teams in Boston, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and we faced off against Colorado. Obviously got swept against them. They had Patrick Roy. I think, though, if Patrick Roy never got traded to Colorado from Montreal that year after that debacle of a game, I seriously think Colorado obviously would have never gone as deep as they did, but we would have had a chance, I think, to win the cup that year. We would probably like Detroit. I think we would have played a lot better against them than we played against Colorado. That we'll go into another video later down the road. But anyways, after that, we had the next season, celebrating the success of the 95-96 season. Started off undefeated. Then the following year is when we went into a tailspin. And I think that's really where Florida lost its respect in the league. We fired Doug McLean after a 7-12-4 start. Brian Murray took over as head coach. He didn't fare any better. We ended up having the worst losing streak in our history, like a 12-game losing streak, winless streak. That was horrible. And then the following year, we move into where we are right now in Sunrise. It was called the National Car Rental Center. And I think that really affected how fans were able to get the game. Again, you're originally centered in Miami, and the hub of South Florida. People can get there easy. There's transportation, public transportation. You move them out into near the Everglades, and it's harder for people to get to. It's a hike for some people, especially if you have fans that were in Miami. Now that's like a 45-minute hike. People aren't going to drive that far. And there's really, besides the mall out there, Sawgrass Mills Mall, there's really nothing out there to drive people to want to go do that type of ride. And I think that was one of the big downfalls for that. Then the next season, 2 seasons after that, Wayne Huizenga sells the Panthers. And then after that, it was just a turmoil of just horrendous ownership groups not willing to spend the money on getting the players. Yeah, we had a couple of decent guys. We had Bure for several years, ended up leading us to the playoffs in 99 to 2000. Then we had Longo, we got from the Islanders. But then, unfortunately, we made the worst trade in NHL history, in actually all professional sports history. Longo was on top of his game. He just didn't have the supporting cast on his back end, offense and defense, that you can only rely on so much. Like, he would set records for the most saves and shots faced in a game every year. because we had no defense back then. And people don't want to watch a team that just you can't score. You're stuck in there, and yeah, it's great to see Longo and stuff like that. The likes of Jokinen, Weiss, Horton, those are great players to watch. But they weren't getting anywhere because the ownership groups were not willing to spend that money. The GMs were not willing to make decent trades. Nobody wanted to come to the team. So players themselves were not respecting the Florida Panthers organization because they saw how much of a mess it was. So, and then the worst owner of all time, Yorkmeyer, he just was horrendous. Like, again, just to fill the seats because the attendance was so bad. He was giving away free tickets. So it made it look like we were actually had more fans in the arena than we should have. And then finally, Doug Sifu and Vinny Viola took over. I know there are Panther fans that are kind of upset with them, especially after the debacle of making the playoffs in 2014, 15-16, and making it all the way to the first round against the Islanders, and then we blow up the team. That pissed me off, as you guys know. I made lengthy videos on that. But they were willing to spend the money. Did they make some boneheaded moves with demoting talent, with giving some guys too much, a.k.a. David Bolin? Yeah, they did. They made some poor moves, but they have shown they are willing to spend that money that need to attract these players. And now we have this core of players. Now, other players want to come to play for Florida. So we're finally getting there where we can earn the respect of the national media outlets. But there's only going to be a couple things that are really going to work to earn the respect of other NHL fans and the media, and that's winning. We don't even have the respect of even Floridians for the Panthers. Nobody wants to go to the games. The games are empty. Like, again, there's yet another joke of the preseason game we had of the first game against the Nashville Predators, a 3 o'clock game on a Monday. Nobody obviously is going to come, but no, the people making fun of the Panthers because, hey, look at only like 300 fans were showing up, and whoa, and all these memes and whatever. But again, and then they would compare us to Vegas. But again, with the whole location thing, if we were based more in the center of a city, like even if we moved to Fort Lauderdale, in the center of Fort Lauderdale, or maybe even north of Fort Lauderdale, I think that could attract a lot more fans. It's not such a hike for some people and all that. Now, they are trying to make it better, make it more of a destination at the arena. But again, that's still several years away. Now, again, like I said, winning is going to get us respect. And I think if we can play like we did last year in the second half of the season, we will get that respect. But again, I think we have to go deep also. We have to go deep in the playoffs. We can't just go in the first round and then lose it. We have to win a playoff series. We have to win a playoff series for this, and then I think that will absolutely attract fans. Now, even when we didn't win a playoff series, when we made the playoffs the last 2 times against the Devils in 2012, and then when we made it against the Islanders, those games were sold out. People in Florida are also very finicky. They need a winner. They need to see a team win. Like, a perfect example is the Marlins in Miami. Again, set in the city, but they're not winning. They are not winning, and that's why their attendance is so bad. That is South Florida fans for you, and I'm probably going to get slapped for this, but I'm friends with a lot of South Floridans, and they say, yeah, unfortunately, people in South Florida, they only come out if the team wins. Okay? So again, we have to win. Win, win, win. We can't have a good season and then crap the bed. We have to have multiple seasons of success. We have multiple runs in the playoffs, multiple deep runs into the playoffs, months. multiple years. We have to have multiple years in which we make deep runs in the playoffs and make the playoffs, and then obviously a Stanley Cup championship will earn respect. But I think what we need to concentrate again now is just making the playoffs several years in a row and going deep into the playoffs several years. Then I think we can finally earn the respect from the national media and from other fans. And we got to keep this nucleus intact, the team that we have. Also, like I said, I think also if we're going to attract more fans in South Florida, I really think that we have to move. I know it's never going to happen, but I think moving more in the central Fort Lauderdale area could actually help attract more fans to the arena because it's not such a hike. There's better public transportation more in the city than there is out near Sunrise. So, but that's what I think Florida has to do to earn the respect of the league and of other fans and of fans in South Florida. Do you guys agree with me? Disagree? Let me know down below. You like this video, give it the big thumbs up. And again, I am back on Twitter, so give me a follow on Twitter. The link is down below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. If you want to stay on top of everything Florida Panthers, I am the source for that. So again, thanks guys for watching, and I will have another video either sometime this week or next week previewing the Hockey News' yearbook for what they think we are going to do. So I look forward to that video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.